Hello, everybody. Hayden Klein here from HK Digital Reviews. I'm here with you today for a review of the debut album from the band Black Midi, Schlagenheim. Now, Black Midi is a band that hails from UK that's released a couple EPs in the past couple of years. They've only been around for about a couple of years or so themselves. And they've been dabbling in a lot of things such as noise rock, math rock, experimental rock, post-punk, no wave, all sorts of different kind of rock genres that you can think of. These guys have been kind of working on it in some way, shape, or form. But this album here is the actual first album that they've actually released instead of just EPs. Now, I didn't hear about these guys beforehand, before I listened to this thing. I didn't hear their EPs. I didn't know they were in a band until about a week ago when I saw a lot of people were starting to give this praise. You go on some of the music websites, this is one of the top albums right now in all these websites. So I thought to myself, well, I have to try this out. I can't just like sit and let this go by and not check it out. It'd just be just very unlike me. It just wouldn't make any sense. So going into this, I had a complete open mind. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know really what their styles were. How do they mix these styles together? How is the production? How is everything? What is their vocal styles? What is all this and that? And I just didn't know what I was getting myself into. Not a single thing. So I have to say, after listening to this record, I am actually pretty amazed from what I have actually heard here. So yeah, this album's actually pretty fantastic, really. All 9 tracks of it, all 42 minutes of it, I can say I really enjoyed what I heard here. And because of that, I actually have a ton of highlights that I want to share with you. So the first track, 953, absolutely fantastic track with multiple transitions in it. Starts off with probably the most math rock inspired portion of the album, besides the absolute craziness that happens in a couple different songs on here. But the more like technical math, I guess you would say, math rock that you'll hear is on the beginning part of this song, which then transitions into more of like a post-punk noise rock kind of sound afterwards, which I absolutely love. This transition is very nice. Going to the verses, it's much more calmer and stuff until it hits you again with that just in your face noise rock that the song had already been given to you, and it's just very just I don't know. It's just amazing, really. That's really the way to really say it. It just is very exciting to listen to from beginning to end. And the entire 5 to 6 minutes of the song, that's basically what it is. But then actually towards the end of it, it really gets into the punk side of things with it, as it takes the main rhythm, the guitar riff, and everything, and speeds it all up into something that's just fantastic, leading to another transition in the song that I love. It's just a fantastic opening cut and a great way to start off my exploration with these guys as well. Then after that, we have a much calmer song called Speedway, which I absolutely adore too. Again, because it has a post-punk vibe to it, but it's definitely much more calmer, much more easygoing to get into. I do kind of like how it's kind of like a stab at the music industry when it comes to the lyrics, at least. Basically, how these guys do not want to run in the same, I guess I would say, speedway in this case as the other artists are running on, or the mainstream artists are. And these guys are just not that. And I'll tell you what, these guys are definitely pretty far away from the mainstream. I'm not gonna lie. So there's that. But yeah, I love the calmer tone of the song. But it's actually kind of needed after what the previous track had just done to us. So I liked it. The next highlight I have is a song Near Detroit, Michigan, which I think right off the bat you know what the song's about. If it's about Michigan and near Detroit, it's about Flint, Michigan, and it's about the Flint, Michigan water crisis. But this may be one of the best songs I've heard yet that has any mention of Flint, Michigan in it. And this is a straight no wave banger. It's not anything like too special like noise rock or anything like that. It kind of does dip into noise rock towards the very end, but everything else is kind of out of the window. It's very no wave, very interesting, very good. It's the shortest song on the album too, just over 2 minutes long, but it's executed really well. Pretty great, in fact. And then the track after that is a track that I like a lot because it's very unique. It's probably, well, saying it's the most unique on this album's kind of unfair because legitimately every single song on this album sounds like its own beast, which I love. But this track called Western is absolutely fantastic. The entire song, the instrumentation starts off, I should say, making it seem like you're in like this western landscape, this beautiful western landscape that's going on. It's just very odd, a very country-esque and very southern-esque vibe going on with the instrumentation on here, but I absolutely love it. And it's nice and smooth until like midway towards the song, and not even really midway, just before midway, when it starts to just ramp up out of nowhere, just hits you over the head with this crazy guitars and crazy drums, just crazy everything. And apparently, according to what I've read about the song, this at this point in the song, it's supposed to be about a duel, like they do in the olden times. And I guess it's also correlating to the lyrics, which are about his rocky relationship. I guess going from like a relaxing place to how, you know, things get real, essentially. So I think that was a pretty cool comparison with doing that. And this thing goes on for 8 minutes. This is an 8 minute long song, but everything about it is exciting to hear, or it's relaxing, or it's just something different around the corner. You just don't know what's going to happen next, essentially. And I guess that's what I really like about this track a lot. It's a nice little story song. It just kind of really does the job. And there's points in this that does really get noisy, very abrasive, and I can't help it. I actually absolutely love it. And then the next track on this album, right afterwards, is called "Of Schlangenheim." That's one hell of a word to say. I'm not too sure why it's called that, but I don't think it's even a real word. I think it was just to make fun of a place in Germany or something that I read. But anyways, it is very interesting. It starts off kind of slower again, but then kind of starts ramping up when the staticky kind of like production comes in. That really makes the song noisier, very weird, very creative sounding though. I liked it a lot, to be honest with you. Let's see. And then after that, it just kind of. Oops, I'm reading the wrong one. I'm sorry. And then again, it just transitions once again into a very different kind of sound, into a much more crazy kind of sound, very noisy. Like this is when the noise slash math rock kind of starts to form together to create this absolutely insane combination of sound. But it's fantastic. I love it. I can't get enough of it, to be honest with you. And then after that, we have probably one of the most odd tracks on here. Actually, I think it is the oddest track, and that is BM. Why is it called that? I honestly don't know, but it's an immediate transition from the last song and the next one, where the flowing production from the previous song is put into this one, and then you get like this very staunch and thick like guitar hit and bass hit together, and then a very simple drum beat that is very, very reminiscent of Pink Floyd. Very reminiscent. Like it's if you would tell me you play that little beginning part with the production that's going on in the background of this song, and you told me it was a Pink Floyd song, I think I'd be like, all right, I actually think you're correct. But no, it's not. And while this is happening, there's like this very, 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 very weird sample of like a woman in the back, like kind of like, I don't want to say screaming, but like making all sorts of weird ass noises. I'm not too sure what it's about. Although no, I know what it's about actually. Saying that's actually wrong, because looking into the song, it turns out it's about a pervert who is stalking a woman apparently, and the lyrics are very odd. They're not like very odd as like they're disturbing, but they're repetitive. But the way the singer delivers these vocals is always different, so it makes it feel like it's very unique and different every time you hear him say these words over and over and over again. But you know, again, it could have probably used a little more variety in that aspect, but it is what it is. Plus, the song doesn't really ever change the pace. It does get to a point where it does kind of get more, I guess, noisy and stuff towards the end. That it hits to a much more, I don't say aggressive, but much more fulfilling beat. That's basically the beat that the song started off with, except giving more drum quality to it, a little bit more production quality to it as well. It's a great track still, but just a very oddball track that really shows their experimental side more than anything else. And then after that, the next track, Years Ago, which is another very oddball track. It starts off like with a lot of like electronic synths starting off, deep, kind of slightly warping as well. It's interesting, and then it kind of turns into like very interesting Primus esque sounding music. Like the instrumental reminds me of something I would have heard from a Primus album, much kind of like one of like maybe like the later Primus albums, like Green Naugahyde or something like that. That's exactly what it reminds me of right off the bat, and I absolutely love it. The singer just goes off on this song. He just kind of just is full on screaming, but it actually sounds really nice over top of the instrumentation, and it lasts for 2.5 minutes, so it's very tolerable in my opinion to what it could have been. He could have been just doing this straight for about 5 to 6 minutes, like in other songs that lasted that long. But no, this is one of the shorter cuts. It sounds great. I like what's going on here. And for the tracks I really love, that's actually it. But there's a couple other tracks to talk about here, such as the track Reggae, which is in the first half of the album. Now the instrumentation on this is pretty good. The drumming on it's pretty great. The one thing that's really bad is the vocals. Like I get with experimental music, excuse me, sorry, that vocals are gonna always be a little bit odd and a little bit off the wall and just weird. But this is but this is just straight bad singing right here. This is just really bad. Like he sounds like he just got off a day of binge drinking and then decided to go in the recording studio to sing some of this. Like he doesn't like complete the words, which just aggravates me. And I know like I listen to music that has screaming in it at times too, and stuff like that. And people say, "Well, you can't understand that. What's the big deal?" With this, well, at least you know that they're just their purpose is just to scream or to do whatever or yell or growl or whatever. In this case, it's like he just really just sounds like he's trying to be as weird as possible, but it's making him so he can't even pronounce words correctly, and it's just kind of annoying when you read the lyrics and you realize what he's trying to say, and you're just like, he's not even beginning like the first, trying to pronounce the first letter of the word, and then he's not even ending the word off. It's just it's just kind of confusing. You just don't even know what's going on, to be honest with you. And the last song I didn't talk about on here, because this is again only a 9-track album, was the track Ducktor, which is actually a pretty good song still. It's just not as good as the other tracks I had mentioned beforehand. It has a nice like guitar riff. It's actually probably the darkest song on the album. Actually, it is the darkest song on the album, especially lyric wise, because it's about a person who is sexually assaulted who has to then once again confront the person who unfortunately sexually assaulted them. And it seems like it's almost like in a court setting of some sort. It's very odd, but it's actually kind of like inspirational in a way because he keeps saying these lyrics of like how he's not gonna let this person break him, like he did not break me and stuff like this, just over and over again. And as the music gets more intense as it goes along, it's pretty great. It's just that structurally, I guess it could have been a little bit better. I guess I kind of wish that, excuse me, that the vocals were just a little bit better because again, we start to dip down on that point of where he's not pronouncing his words in some cases. And the last like leg of this track is absolutely wild with him just going ballistic on the mic, making the oddest noises I've ever heard somebody make on a serious recording of anything. I mean, he just sounds like he's just like breathing a lot of air through and just like waving his cheeks back and forth trying to make noises with his mouth. It's very odd. I'm not too sure if it, even on an experimentally labeled album, if that is really necessary or does it really help the quality. In my opinion, it doesn't help the quality no matter what. You're gonna do the most random sounds just because at the end of an album and the end of a song that's really serious, and not for me. Just not for me. So, anyways, but overall, after saying all that, I still love this album a lot. I've listened to it a bunch of times, and I've kind of grown more attached to it the more I listen. Every song on here has something about it that's fantastic, even though maybe a couple of songs may have stuff on there that actually ends up getting ruined because of other things. But you know, it is what it is. But I can live with it, and I still love this album. And I think that if you're looking for something more off the wall, something that you don't listen to usually, and you're a fan of rock, then maybe you should give this a a check out. Might as well check it out. For rating, I want to think that this probably deserves a 9 out of 10 for this project. And I don't really have much else to say about it. So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, please like, comment, subscribe. Um, t- Go in the comments. Tell me what I should review next. Even you can talk. Did you listen to this? Did you like this album? Did you think it was crap? Did the experimental side to it just not get to you, or is it more noisier than you want it to be? Or do you like the combination of all this stuff like I do? You know, have some friendly chats. I have no problem doing that. For the next reviews, I don't know if I'll actually do another just a solo album review before Sunday. I might try to do one this upcoming Sunday or Saturday, which would be the 29th of June. So, and if I do that, it's going to be on the new Mike record, Tears of Joy. Sunday, I'm going to be doing a little music weekly roundup kind of deal where I'm going to go over some singles, some EPs, and some albums I didn't get a chance to review. Going to give little ratings to that, have short discussions about each one of these. Basically, it's just going to be about songs and albums and EPs from this year, not necessarily this past week that were released that I just haven't gotten a chance to or just found out about. So that's something to look forward to. That one's going to be probably a much longer video, but we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to do it. Hope you are too. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and please have a nice day.